Big Sil's National Football Show. Holy cow. A lot of news. 1,100 guys are being released around the National Football League. Teams had to get down to their 53-man roster by 4 o'clock Eastern time. The Eagle roster has been set. By the way, it's top of the hour. We'll get a little bit of an update on what Howie is saying. Howie said his word is his word. That's why Bradberry's here. I'm sorry? Howie said his, oh. So wait, the head coach doesn't pick his team. Here we go again. General manager picks his team. Oh, Sean. Hey, just like Bob says, just because you have 7 baggage handlers doesn't mean you have 7 linebackers. What do you think hey, Dome says this. What do you think who is a make or break it guy on defense beside Jordan Davis and Nakobe Dean? Nakobe Dean's not a make it or break it on that defense. Actually, I think it's more on the corner play on 2. Whoever plays that corner 2. Here's a couple things on your here's what you have to hope on defense. On the Xander no holes defense. You got to hope corner 2 plays well. Slay's not old. Not old. Your linebackers are functional. Functional. You got to hope Huff replaces Hassan Reddick. You got to hope that Sweat picks his game up a little, gets up to 10 sacks again. Smith plays. Milton plays. Because we've never seen any of that. Stay tuned. My prediction could break the 14. Get this. So Xander's now going 14-5. He's talking maybe potentially 15-2. Me? 9-8. You're a 9-8 football team. Boy, look at how happy you are that a guy named Thomas Booker made the team. Who? Or that a guy, Devin White, made the team. Who? Or the guy Nakobe Dean made the team. Who? I mean, or Nolan Smith made the team. Who? You're sounding like these guys are good. Holy shit. Man, 14 or 15, 15-2. No way, man. That football team's 9-8 right now. You won't beat Green Bay. 12-5, Sills. Throw some respect on my team. Yeah, I just did. 9-8. I upped it from 7. What 8 teams are we losing to then? Pick one. Green Bay? You can lose to anybody. Your defense is not good enough. You're losing to Baltimore. You're losing to Cincinnati. You're losing to those teams. You're going to split with Dallas, as you always do. I just gave you 5 there. You're losing to Cleveland. Hey, your offense is good. Your defense is just as bad as your offense is good. With a top 7, look at this. John says you got a top 7 defense. Top 7 defense. Oh my God. No holds defense. That's Xander's. Oh my God. This is holy shit. This is going to look like you guys weren't around for this. Xander wasn't around. There was a thing called the space shuttle back in the day. And the space shuttle came crashing down to Earth and it burned in the atmosphere. That's what the Eagles' defense is going to look like. If that offense doesn't score a ton of points this year, it's going to look like Skylab. Chris goes, you're assuming that the defense won't be good. Assuming? You haven't been. You're assuming because you have brand new players that you've never heard of, you're going to be good. Dude, your defense a year ago wasn't good. Now you're telling me you upgraded? Where? Quinyon Mitchell doesn't even fucking start. He doesn't even start. Cleveland, absolutely. Dude, you lost to New York last year in Seattle. Holy shit. And that was Drew Lock. Stills, I believe the Eagles' 53 man is good, but it clearly shines a light on how one side, this team was built. We kept 5 linebackers, 2 backups, and 3 third teamers. Bob, thank you. That's exactly right. Look at that defense compared to how many offensive jobs were won? How many jobs were won on offense? The number 3 receiver and the right guard position are the only positions that were won. Barkley was going to be the back when you gave him $10 million. You had 2 jobs. Look at the jobs that you have to fill on defense. Edge rusher, you had to buy him. You Quinyon Mitchell, you signed him. Get this, both corners you have going into this Packer game, you didn't draft. No, wait, let's do this. Let's talk. Okay, Kyle, you're going into a game this year against Green Bay with 2 corners you didn't draft, 1 linebacker you didn't draft, 1 edge rusher you didn't draft. And you guys are like, these are all new players. Okay. Eagles schedule? No. What I do not care. Hey, dude, you don't get the benefit of calling yourself a good defense. Zander he's giving you the benefit. I'm not. That's not a strategy, giving benefit of the doubt. Who are you? You know what? That's a great let me take a look at this. I'll do this to you. Jalen Hurts, on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being the best. Okay? 3.5. I think he's good. Saquon Barkley, running backs go in the NFL, 3.5. A.J. Brown, 5. Devontae Smith, a 5. Dotson, a 2. Goddard, a 3. Mulata, a 5. Dickerson, a 5. Juergens, I like the player, 3. Becton, a 3. Lane, a 5. Now let's get to your defense. Milton Williams, 3. Jordan Davis, 2. Jalen Carter, 3.5. Okay? We don't know yet, but we're hopeful. Hope is not a strategy. Huff, 3. Dean, 2. 1. 1.5. No, Devin White, 2. Nolan Smith, 1. Mitchell, unknown. CJ, 3. Blankenship, reluctantly a 3. Slay, 3. Dude, what are you talking about? Dean, 2, really? Hey, Edgar, probably 1. He's not that good. The Kobe Dean is going to start on your team with 218 reps in a football game, and he has done dick. And you're telling me the no defense is going to have a guy playing that's not proven anything in his NFL career, and now he's starting. Why? is that guy starting. You know why? You don't have talent there. Nakobe Dean on the 49ers would be cut. He'd be cut. He wouldn't make the Niners. He wouldn't. Eagles defense is a few injuries away from completely falling off the track. How about this, Hollywood? I would even make this comment here. By the way, guys, please hit the like button. Your offensive line is an injury away from disaster. What if that center goes down? So you went from Jason Kelsey to Cam Jurgens, and if that center goes down, you got to move Dickerson over? That's your only emergency move is Dickerson to center. You're not going to sign a guy off the street. And if that kid doesn't clear waivers that they drafted in the 7th round, who hasn't looked all that great, but if that kid doesn't clear, if I was Dallas, I would sign him to my practice squad just to F with Philly. Jack goes like this, Stout will get it done. Hey, Jack, it's not so much Stoutland will get it done. If you lose a center right now and Cam goes down, what are you doing at left guard? So left guard and right guard will be question marks, and Dickerson playing out of position. Sounds like, and you struggled with 0 blitz. Dude, this is far from the 22 team where you had depth everywhere. This is far removed. Your roster's nowhere near that roster. You were deep and talented, and you were experienced. Hennessy sucks. I like Keegan. I do like Keegan, Forrest. I do like Keegan. Here's this one here. Dan says, thinking this defense is going to be exactly the same as last year is a wild take. Really? How's that a wild take? Schemes don't make, as Vic Fangio says. Listen to your coordinator. Schemes don't make championship defenses. Players do. It's a wild take. Why is it a wild take? Sills, if Vic can turn this D into a top 12, there we go with if. It could win the coordinator of the year award. This guy is forced to do more with less. Absolutely. Okay? They've improved. You don't improve with young talent that's never played, Dan. How are you improved when the kid's not even starting? You were 31st in pass defense. He couldn't win a job as a corner that you drafted him at? He's playing out of position, Dan. What's that reasoning? And just to get him on the field? You couldn't get him on the field in his pure position? Hang on here. You couldn't get the guy on the field with a guy who has been out a year that you drafted in his true position. But you want him on the field, so you're going to come up with him in the slot. Really? I thought you upgraded. So what? Quinyon Mitchell didn't upgrade your corner position? He's not starting. We aren't in Vic's head. That's not, no, Vic said this, Dan. Vic Fangio asked, somebody asked him at a press conference the last time he spoke, do you think your defense, you feel more comfortable, unlike the no-holds defense? The last time Vic Fangio was asked this question, do you feel more comfortable going into the start of the season with what you have? He goes, I'll let you know after week 12. That's what he said. Those were his words. Not my words. Dude. No. Here, let's just show you here. Here's another thing that Vic Fangio said. You keep saying he's not starting. Our slot corners on the field. Slot corner and cornerback are two different skill set positions. Vic Fangio said that in his last press conference as well. Because some reporter said, well, he's playing slot corner. He goes, that's not the same. They're two different positions. They're two different positions. They're two different skills. They're not the same. Dan, you need to listen to what Vic Fangio's saying because he doesn't lie. He says this. These are his words. His words. I mean, how he said hi? Don't worry about it. We're going to say hi when we whoop that ass Saturday at Florida Field, Ben Hill Griffith Stadium. I'll see you Saturday, Howie. How you doing? Dan, why didn't we cut? Hey, here's another good one. Dan, why didn't we cut Bradberry? Because he's not sure what he has at corner. Why else would you keep him? Why? Because you want to pay him $12 million? Sills, the back four is all about communication. If we had a better safety play, Hugh might have slotted in the cornerback because he would have had support. Nickel gets his talent on the field. Yeah, but Bob, once again, that's not where you drafted him. Gets him on the field. Well, if he's so good, why can't I put him over at corner like that's his true position? Remember what he said? I'd never played that position in my – this is a brand new position he's never played. He's never played it. Seals, maybe the person did not hear it or see about Vic's comments. Vic said the nickel plays almost – no, absolutely. But once again, they're two different positions. Slot corner and corner are not the same positions. It's not the same skill. That's like saying right guard and left guard are the same skill set techniques. They're not. Right tackle, left tackle, completely different skill sets. Just because they're right guard and left guard, that doesn't mean you're playing the same technique. There's two different responsibilities for a right tackle offensively and a left tackle offensively. Same guard positions. They're not the same position. They're totally different skills. Absolutely. So hold on here. So you're assuming Mitchell can't do both. I'm telling you, if this guy's so fucking good and you drafted him as a corner, why isn't he playing corner? You can't beat Isaiah Rodgers out? Why is that? Vic doesn't trust him. Vic doesn't trust him. Simple. Somewhat a surprise, yeah, because now you guys have very astutely brought up depth. What are you talking about, depth? You need a corner too. Bradberry is on the team because Quinyon Mitchell's not ready to play yet. Only reason. You think Bradberry's going to play any safety this year whatsoever? You're paying a guy $11 million to sit on the bench. Why is that? Because they don't believe what they have at corner. Can't wait to see these two guys get out there and play against the Packers September 6th. Isaiah Rodgers, and get this, would it shock me that Bradberry got any play time at cornerback against the Packers? No. It won't shock me. No. I guarantee you he gets some reps out there in the Packer game. I'll bet you anything on that. Okay? Slager goes, Roseman just spoke about Bradberry as a safety. So wait a minute. You really believe that James Bradberry, who's never played, you got two guys in your secondary that have never played and they're out of position, Quinyon Mitchell and also James Bradberry. That's quite a no-holds defense. What do you think this is, high school football where you could just slug a guy in? This is pro football. It takes decades and years to play positions to get to the NFL. You're just going to slug guys in because you don't have a body. That's why. For Christ's sakes, let it go, Sills. Holy shit. I'm not hating on anything. I'm trying to be a realistic guy here. Hating? Wait, tell me something. Marshall, thanks for the super chat, by the way, brother. What am I hating on? Tell me what I'm hating on, Marshall. I'm curious. What am I hating on? Tell me what I'm hating on. What am I hating on, Marshall? I'm can't wait to hear this. What am I hating on? Do you even know? By the way, brother, please, you don't have to put in you're very kind with your super chats. You just post it. And I'll answer it honestly. Glad you're having a good time picking out every negative team can go through. I have not wavered on your defense the entire camp. So when you say that, you're just making that up. I have not, and I am not sold on it. Just because you have a bunch of guys playing at the position doesn't mean they're good. It doesn't mean they're good. John says, I'm hating on the entire team. Like, no. You have half a team. I'm hating on one side of your team, not your offense. I don't hate your offense. Your defense is not good. Not true. And by the way, John, you're listening to what you want to hear as usual. It's cool. The perfect example of hating? No. I'm a realist, dickhead. You're constantly hating on the Eagles every bit. Because you're not good. Here, I wrote this down. Here are my top rosters, AFC, NFC. And what I mean by rosters, best 53. Kansas City, AFC 1. And these are championship rosters, in my opinion. Okay? Championship roster type teams. Kansas City, Cincinnati, Baltimore. I like Houston. I love what the roster is, what they've done with Nick Caserio. NFC, my top 4 rosters. Niners, Lions, Packers, and Rams. Those are the best 53-man rosters. You're not better than the Rams defensively in any place. Linebackers, D-line. Shit, they got a guy who had a better year as a rookie than what even Jalen Carter did. He led all rookies with 9 sacks. The kid they got from Wake Forest. He had a better year than Carter. Better year than Carter. And by the way, the majority of these teams all have guys that have either won a Super Bowl or have won MVPs or have been to a Super Bowl. I don't look at half a team and go, well, they're great. Dude, think about this. What made the Patriots so? Can you name me one superstar player that Tom Brady played with outside of Gronkowski in the 6 Super Bowls that they won with Tom Brady on offense? Name me one. Not named Gronk. Blindly supporting a team doesn't make you a better fan. You can be fans that call out question marks. Thank you, Edgar. Thank you. By the way, for the super chat. Randy Moss never won a Super Bowl with the Patriots. Name me one player on offense that Tom Brady played with outside of Gronkowski in his entire 26 years that was an all-pro superstar ball player. Welker, no. He was a special teams guy. Amendola, Edelman, no. Nobody. What makes that team even crazy with Brady, there were no skill set players that were first rounders until later in the run with Sony Michel. Aaron Hernandez was a fourth rounder. Corey Dillon was a free agent. Wes Walker was a free agent. Those guys aren't going to the Hall of Fame. They're not going to Kevin Falk, Corey Dillon, Welker. They're not going to the Hall of Fame. They're not Hall of Fame players. They're not Hall of Fame players. What's Stallworth? LeGarrette Blount's not a Hall of Fame player. He was a free agent. They didn't play with one first-round draft choice on that entire run, including the quarterback. And nobody was the highest-paid player, including the quarterback. What's that tell you? Their defense on the other side was just as balanced. They never had superstar players in New England, but they had the roster that was balanced. You know why? They had a balanced salary. Hey, Bob, are you in here? Would you not agree one of the key components to the New England Patriots' success is the fact they had a balanced salary cap? Cowboys waived 20 players. Wow. That's a ton. Bob, right? Offense never had more money than the defense. Defense never had more money than the offense, right? He said all pro, right? Yeah. Well, there weren't any all pros on that team outside of Gronk. No first rounders for sure. Look how much money you got in your team. Look at the money you spent on one side of the ball. I don't always agree, but I appreciate honesty. Sean, thank you, my friend. Our defense, they did have superstars. Asante Samuel. Yeah, get this. You don't have guys like that on your defense. You know why? Because they had a balanced salary cap. They could go get Rodney Harrison. They could get Junior Seau, John. They can have players that of that ilk on that side of the ball. You can't have that. You're spending $200. Get this, John. You got a $200 million payroll on offense alone. Your cap's only $250. I got the message. By the way, I said skilled set players. Thank you. But okay, I said skilled set players. Receivers, running back. That's why I mentioned Sony Michel later on. I believe he was a first rounder out of Georgia later. Seals, the 49ers are about to cut a bunch of people anyways because they can't afford to pay. Hey, I'll tell you what, Sean. I'd be taking a look at them cuts. I'd be looking at those cuts in San Francisco. I might like some of those guys. Okay? I might like some of them dudes because here's the deal. You're not going to – there's no jobs to be won. I can't believe 4 rookies that they drafted have made the roster as starters, which is insane. N'Keal Harry was a first rounder. They didn't win a Super Bowl with him. They cut him. They cut him. No, they traded him. They traded him. Okay? Win a Super Bowl with him. Let's see here. Roseman was asked about the backup center, a few and other positions. He said the roster isn't done until they get to 70. Okay. So that's exactly what we said, that they're looking still at the cuts here. They're going to add players. I would say this to you. Let me go to my 53 man. And I said this here a couple minutes ago with the Xander. Where's that 53? Here it is. I think they're going to look at wide receiver. I think they're going to look at here it is. They're going to look at wide receiver. They're going to add a wideout. Edelman was a first rounder, Sturdy. I don't remember that. I don't remember him being like an all-pro guy either. I don't remember that. Let's see here. Dan, Brady's ability to get more with less and players allowed Bill to get D players. They were very balanced. Absolutely. Yeah, Xander, just a little bit of a synopsis. Just a little bit of a synopsis what was said there by Howie Roseman at the press conference. He's going to join us here. Don't forget also, Xander's going to join John McMullen right after the program. They'll go more in depth with it. But I just want to get kind of like a small synopsis when it came to what was said here by Howie Roseman. I guess Nick Sirianni was there as well. Packers only have two quarterbacks, Love and Malik Willis. I saw that deal that they made, Abe, to bring him up there and back him up in Green Bay. I think that's a really good move by Matt LaFleur. So I appreciate the super chat. Xander, just an overall synopsis of what was said a little bit here a couple minutes ago with Howie Roseman, the general manager of the Eagles.
Yeah, pretty dry press conference. Not much that came out of it other than how we emphasized over and over again that this roster is not complete. We're incomplete right now. He said that probably 3 or 4 times today. He sees the roster as more of a 70-man roster than a 53, including that practice squad. So that was the big takeaway. And then he spoke a little bit about James Bradberry. I'll quote what he said a little bit. He said, he's always had great football instincts. We've seen him transition to safety from outside corner. It's a long season with the goals we have. Having a veteran like that on the roster, we know we can rely on. That's important. He's a pro. He's led by example. He's led by his play, and guys look up to him. So definitely spoke highly of James Bradberry there. He was asked about the backup center, and he kind of relinquished again to we are incomplete right now. So obviously going to be more moves coming on this team. Nick Sirianni spoke a little bit about Tristan McCullum, who's a good one. You know, Nick said Tristan flashed in games. Also, he was consistent in practice, great athletic ability that can help on special teams. So showing priority there. And then on the 11 defensive backs, Howie said it was a big offseason priority. I had to take responsibility for that. I didn't want lack of depth to happen again. So that was his comments on that. I think it is worth pointing out there's no undrafted free agents that made the initial roster. So that was the takeaway.
When you're good, they're harder spots to make.
Yeah, and he kind of talked about, you know, how he put an emphasis on those futures contracts because they didn't feel as good about the undrafted guys this year. So it does seem they were right on that. But overall, pretty dry press conference. Nothing crazy. You know, just kind of
personally though, Xander, the Bradberry thing to me, him glossing over that like that just to have a guy on the bench, he's not going to see time at safety.
No, well, he spoke highly of him. I think he's trying to keep his value high. I think he's trying to. I mean, look, I do think there's an element to when you're a GM to being mindful of the players talking and the players understanding the reputations that certain GMs and organizations have. And I think Howie's very mindful of that, especially in the last couple of years. And I don't think he wants to ever say anything bad.
I think he learned his lesson from the Wentz deal when
exactly, and I don't think he wants
that
to
whole
badmouth this guy.
situation happened with Wentz.
Yeah, maybe he overplayed his hand a little bit, but I don't think he wasn't going to say anything bad about Bradberry. He talked him up pretty good. I don't have the same problem that most people do with Bradberry, to be honest with you.
I mean, that's quite, like Bob says, that's quite a spare tire to sit there on the bench at $12 million. I mean, when usually the rule is when you pay him, you play him. I mean,
yeah, no doubt.
I mean, and if you're comfortable with the fact that if there's a disaster, I mean, Xander, I got a feeling, man, that guy could see some snaps at corner in that Green Bay game. I mean,
who, James?
Yeah, I mean, depending on how that thing goes, dude.
Maybe. Yeah, it's plausible to think that could be a possibility for sure.
How about the fact that the center? So he mentioned the center position. I'll let you go after this one here. So obviously he's looking at the wire right now, and he's still looking at potentially adding. I think it's going to be tight end, maybe a wide receiver, and potentially
definitely tight end. They're not going into the season with 2 tight ends.
No way. And especially they're not going in without a blocking one. Because
and that's why I don't think. That's why I think they didn't put EJ Smith on EJ Jenkins on the roster, because he's another guy that can catch the ball, but he can't really block. So that's why I said, I mean, Jack Stoll is a realistic possibility for him to be back in Philly, but we'll see, what they end up doing. But they will definitely have another tight end.
Hey, Xander, do me a favor when we come back out of the timeout. Have that 53-man roster ready for me, but we're going to take a timeout here. And for you, you're going to be with John McMullen at the top of the hour right after the program.
Yep, hoping 6 p.m. Haven't heard yet back from John. I think he's running around the NovaCare complex, but I'm pushing his ass to be on 6 p.m. So if we don't have that at 6 p.m., I'll have a clip from your show airing on the channel, and then we'll go live eventually tonight. But John McMullen and I will be live tonight on JAKIB Sports on the channel, and we'll recap the 53-man. Shonsky, we see it, my friend. Oh my goodness! Guy sent a super chat, and 62 seconds later, he's up our keister. We don't miss him.
Hey, hold on here. Yes, we missed Wansky's super chat. There we go.
Let me get it up before he starts crying.
Did we keep Bradberry? And despite the cornerback with Bland out, trade in the East. Dude, I think that Howie Roseman made this deal. This is a Howie deal. And I thought for sure, John had said it from day one. I thought they were going to cut him that Friday when that April 4th or whatever it was, Xander, I forget the day.
Yeah.
That you could have cut him, and they didn't. I said, he's making that team. And sure enough, it was, I don't know how much of a debate it was, Xander, that he wasn't going to make the team.
Look, I'm all right with it. I think he's going to be at least some sort of impact on the team right now. Let's see what they do. Because remember, he's a safety. You got 5 of them. You have Sidney Brown returning. I think he could be a trade candidate early in the year.
No holds defense, baby. That's the new. Hey, by the way, have you revamped your record?
I'm thinking about it, man. I'm looking at this roster. I'm listening to the Big Sills and how much he's gotten wrong in the last couple of years.
What are we talking wrong here? Not by that defense. That's for damn sure. You guys were going like this last year when you were 10-1.
What's that I smell?
No, get this. How about this? You guys were going like this. Man, we're good on defense. Sills, how you ripping us for 10-1? I'm like, you're not that good.
Sills, what's that? You smell that?
You know what that's called? Success.
I smell it. 15 wins.
The no holes defense.
No holes, baby. Top 10 in the league, baby.
Top 10 now. No holes, top 10. Huff gets 15.5 sacks, and Carter's all pro. And the Kobe Dean.
Carter's all pro. I'll take that bet right now, man.
You think he makes the all pro team?
Carter? Yeah, I think Jalen.
The guy in LA outplayed him.
I think Jalen Carter is the best defensive tackle in the league right now.
The guy in LA outplayed him as a rookie. Had 9 sacks.
Who, the guy playing next to Aaron Donald?
Aaron Donald's not there any longer.
Well, he was there last year.
It's okay. So what? He's
Yeah.
not there. He was out
You
of
can't
gas.
Sills, you can't get past me that
Hey,
easy.
he's out of gas.
Okay.
He wasn't out of gas.
No, I'm not
All
going
Tanner.
15. But maybe, Abe, I will consider going 14-3. I will give you my
14-3.
official updated prediction.
Oh my God.
Tomorrow on the show.
14-3. That's going to be interesting to see the new updated record either tonight or tomorrow morning on Birds 365. Does Xander Krause addend his one-loss record? What did you have last time? 13 wins?
13-4, baby.
Oh my God. Could he go potentially 14 wins or 15 wins? That's must-see television. Xander, I'll must see it at the top of the hour. By the way, where are we on the like list, brother?
What do you have? 9 wins? Jesus.
9-8.
250.
I'm with
250
Angelo
likes.
Cataldi, a realist.
Angelo Cataldi. You bet. You know what, Sills? I know you love your boy Angelo Cataldi, and I love him too, and he did a good job.
Coming on next Monday.
If this team wins
5 games, according to
10
him.
games this year, you better rip that guy on air. You better rip his ass on air. 5 wins is a batshit crazy prediction for this football team, and I can't wait to see if he.
I got 9 wins.
You got 9. That's BS too. So this team wins 9 games.
So you think you're beating Baltimore? You're covering
this team
Lamar
wins
Jackson.
9 games.
Wait, you think Lamar Jackson is not going to run through that defense with the no-holds defense? The no-holds defense is going to hold a 2-time MVP down, right?
Dan, this team won 9 football games in Jalen Hurts' his first year as a starter with Queasy Watkins and Devontae Smith as a rookie.
So you're telling me you think that defense with the no-holds defense is going to stop Joe Burrow?
Dude, you love Joe Burrow.
I do.
Yeah, all right. I'm not that infatuated with the guy. He's good. He's a good player.
What has Hurts done more than him?
Nothing.
He went to Super Bowl too.
Okay, and he lost too.
Okay.
All right, so he's done nothing more.
Then why do people look at him more in the light of being one of the big? Oh, that's right. I forgot.
What is Joe Burrow done?
Because he's 5-1 against Mahomes.
What has Joe Burrow done that Hurts hasn't?
He consistently beats Mahomes.
Okay, well, he's in the AFC. Congratulations. Jalen's not in the AFC.
That's
and
right.
By the way,
he loses to Drew Lock.
Year.
He loses to Drew Lock and the pizza guy. Yeah. Hey, by the way, save all this bullshit for the no-holds defense. That'll be tonight at the top of the hour with him and John. They could go over the greatness of – what's the guy that made it? Oren Burks.
No, he didn't make it.
Oh, he didn't make it. Who the other guy did?
Come on, Sills. Get it right.
Who's the other guy?
Well, I got to show some love to our new member, by the way.
Who's the guy? Who's the guy? What's his name? That's right, Edgar. Hang in there, man. He won.
Edgar became a new member today, and he's been ripping back. I love having him in the live chat. Edgar, thanks for becoming a member, man. We appreciate your comments.
Hold on here. Who's the other guy that made it? Oh,
Zach Tooth. I think it was Brett Tooth.
Zach Bond. Zach Bond made it.
Zach Bond was always going to make this team.
Holy shit. Zach Bond, Devin White, and Kobe Dean. You know what? You don't have a hamburger between the 3 of them.
I need everybody in the chat to take it to Sills because this guy is dead wrong about this football.
9-8.
So, you've been on our network for 4 years now. This will be the 4th NFL season with us.
9-8.
You've never been this wrong on JAKIB Sports
8
as you are right now.
9. I picked you to go to Super Bowl too.
Well, in 22 you did.
Yeah, when no one else
right
did.
Then.
I was the first guy out of the gate.
Well, you always tell me, what are you worried about 22 for? Quit living on your past.
No,
this is the worst prediction.
I've been on your network, and I just want to make it so we have a reference point here, Junior.
This is the worst prediction you've ever had since you've been on JAKIB.
9-8.
Your worst prediction yet.
No. You know what your worst take is? No holes defense.
No, good. I'm happy you think that because when this football team has 9 wins by week 11, I'll be laughing on your show.
And when your defense is 27th, once again, and you improved it 4 spots, I'll be saying this: no holes. How you doing? Hey, I'll catch you at the top of the hour. Keep punching away, brother.
Later,
great stuff. By the way, tell John McMullen great stuff. Guys, hit the like button. We'll follow up on all this. Keep it here, National Football Show.
Michael Vick at BetUS.com. Catch an incredible 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits, plus 10% gambler's insurance. BetUS, my online sportsbook and casino.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.